Hey, what's up there, Fat-Focs? Welcome back to Fat-Foc Fasting with Snake Diet Dan. I got some questions to answer. So these ones are from my coaching group on Facebook. First one's from Sonia. She says, I struggle with sweet things. I'm in menopause, insulin resistance, underactive thyroid. Please send me the video to get rid of my sweet cravings. There's no video that's going to get rid of your sweet cravings. You have to stop eating sweets. In order to break an addiction, you have to abstain from that addiction. And your addiction is sweets and food. So you have to abstain from it. Stop fucking eating is the quickest way to do it. Knock off a 72-hour fast and then have your refeeds kind of as low-carb refeeds, right? Stay away from the carbs at all costs. Eventually, you will stop craving sweets. Next question. How can I convince my parents to start fasting and eating healthy? I've lost 100 pounds. I've been doing it for 3 years. They have seen my transformation, yet I couldn't motivate them to get healthy or get my father to stop smoking. I really do feel bad for them. What can I do? I tried leading by example. Yeah. And it just goes on. Thanks in advance. Good question. It goes back to the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. It's just the way it is, man. I do this for a living. I make people healthy for a living. I make people fit for a living. I lead by example. I have multiple people under me who lead by example, and they always struggle with this. You just sometimes can't help people that don't want to be helped. You know, another story comes to mind where have you ever heard the one about the dog that laid on the nail? Okay. And there was two guys. One guy was visiting another guy, and his dog was on the step, and his dog was constantly whining. And the guy who was visiting said to the owner, hey, how come your dog is always crying like that? He said, well, because he's laying on a nail. And so the other guy said, well, if he's laying on a nail, why doesn't he just get up and move? And the owner said, because it doesn't hurt enough to get up and do something about it. And that's pretty much what it is, man. You can't change people. Especially, the parents are the hardest because they don't respect you as an authority over them because they raised you, they made you, they brought you up, right? So it's really hard, and I know it's frustrating. Honestly, the best thing you can do that I found actually kind of works sometimes, and it's a 50-50 shot because it's a crapshoot on who's actually going to be motivated and who's not, is get a professional or someone that they perceive as a professional to relay the information to them. And it sucks because a lot of the time the older generation look up to doctors as if the doctors are be-all end-alls of nutrition and health, but they're not. Healthcare is the worst word ever given to hospitals and doctors. It should be called fucking death care. Healthcare is what I do. It's what Cole does. It's what personal trainers and nutritionists that actually have a fucking clue. That's what they do. Healthcare. Death care is what you get at the doctor in the hospital and that shit 99% of the time. So, I don't know. Do you know any personal trainers? Do you know any nutritionists? Do you know any people of authority that could relay the same information? If so, try that route. If not, the best you're going to get is an I told you so when something bad happens. And that sucks because you don't want to be there to say I told you so when something bad happens. You want to be there to say I told you so when something good happens. That's really all I got to say about that right now. It's about 1,000 degrees in this fucking car right now. I'm sitting at actually I'm going to pump some AC. Just give me a second here. I'm sitting at the border between Canada and the United States, and it's about 31 degrees Celsius out here, and we're in a black Charger with fucking black interior. It's not my car, it's a rental. Anyway, Next question from Samantha says, I just turned 29. I want to be able to stop my diet pop addiction. Stop. I've been able to go 3 weeks without, then somehow get pulled back into drinking it. I have done 2.5 day dry fast, 6.5 days water. Well, yeah, nothing's working. Yeah, don't expect. It's not that the fasting's not working. The fasting's doing what it's supposed to do. You're just clinging to a fucking addiction. You have likely some emotional issues attached to this shit, you know. And furthermore, I don't know what else you're doing, but stay away from fucking ads or anything, you know, even shitty friends that are going to shove that stuff in your face. Like, if you're around people that are drinking diet sodas all the time and drinking alcohol and shit like that, you're going to get pulled right back into that lifestyle. This shit's about changing your life, man. If you don't want your life to change, don't change anything. If you're going to change your life, change your whole fucking life, not just one little thing. Okay? So, you're addicted to these, like, artificial sweeteners, and I mean, you get these dopamine hits, you get these little hits. It's the same thing as sugar addiction. You get these little hits, you get these little hits. It's the same thing as drug addiction. You get these little hits and it makes you feel better because you're emotionally attached to food, and that's something that you have to resolve. Okay, I can't do that over a video, but look into the psychology of why you're clinging to diet pop. Mal says, could you please talk about the steps we should take after our fasts? How to maintain and have it as a lifestyle. I usually always end up going back to my previous weight. Thanks. Same thing as I said on the last one, like, you go back to your old habits. You have to form new habits. Okay? You don't just do a fast and then you're like, okay, I'm there. I'm done. No, it's a lifestyle. You have to make it a lifestyle. Like when you said, how do I make it a lifestyle? By changing your habits. Changing little habits. Not eating lunch. Not eating breakfast. Whatever, you know. Maybe you are eating breakfast, so don't eat dinner. Okay? You want to go back to, once you hit your goal, you're fine on one meal a day. Even most athletes are going to be fine on one meal a day, right? So you just have to make that the norm. And like I said on the previous question, you have to change your life. You have to get away from the bad influences, the ads, the friends, anything that's going to influence you to go back. Because if you go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to hit my goal and then I'm going to celebrate with fucking chocolate cake or some shit, you're going to fail. Why even fucking do it? You're going to fail, okay? You have to... Another good thing you could do is learn a lot about what's in your food. Listen to podcasts, read books. You know, it's tough to say that because there's a lot of shitty books out there on nutrition. But mostly listen to things that explain what is in your food and the effects that it has on you, so that you can look at food more as a fuel and not as a fucking reward and not as a celebration. Okay, what else we got here? Type 2 diabetic, will this work for me? Yeah, in like 2 seconds. This is the best thing you can do for fucking type 2 diabetes. Tell me how this diet works and about the fasting. Go to Cole's YouTube channel and look up the video, How to Start the Snake Diet, and another video I think is called What is the Snake Diet? I don't have time to explain like the basics. These questions are for people that have a clue of what's going on here. Andy Sharp says, been carnivore for 5 months now. Could do with some advice on good carbs to incorporate in my diet. and how much quantities to take when, i.e. once a week or so on. I don't know your fitness level, your weight, your height, any of that stuff, so I can't give you a how much answer, but it's cool that you did carnivore for 5 months. As far as carbs go, it really depends on the person. I really like sweet potatoes. I find sweet potatoes are a pretty universal carb. They're good for most people. So I always go with sweet potatoes, yams, carrots, and I'm talking on the more starchy end, and then you could get actually some fructose in there. So, for example, if you're trying to put on some mass, you're trying to bulk, you could go with, on your training days, you could go, depending on how often you train, okay? So if you're training, say, 6 days a week, full body, as we talk about, you could go with, say, I don't know, you don't look like an overly big guy, so I'd say maybe 100 grams of starch, and then you could get another 20 to 30 grams of fructose in there. And I would get you know what a good fructose source is, and it's simple, is I like to use prunes. But you can use apples, you can use berries, you can use whatever, okay? I like to use prunes because I just like how they make me shit. I shit really good with prunes. And then, of course, if you're going to be bulking, the benefit of the prunes is you're going to be taking in a lot of protein, and sometimes that causes constipation. So you got the prunes there to help you have better bowel movements, right? Because you're going to want to get a bunch of protein in too. But I mean, I don't know your goal. I'm just going on what I think you might be talking about. I mean, when you guys ask questions, give me a fucking description, yo. Give me information. It says right in the post, fill me in on as much information as possible. And then people ask black and white questions for general public. That's not how health and nutrition works. It's highly individual. We can try to break it down and simplify it. Cole's a fucking master at that, breaking it down and simplifying it. But I'm so fucking utility minded that I like to be very precise with my answers. So let's go. Any advice on a diet for a 6'3", 207 with a goal to bulk up? Okay, so 6'3", 207. See, I got a little information there. With a goal to bulk up. So like I said to the last guy, you want your protein to be really high. If your goal is strictly to bulk and it's not like powerlifting or performance, I would go on a more bodybuilding style workout. You could still do full body. Go to failure. Like Cole does 1 set to failure almost every day, and he's bulking up really good. Now I go every other day. I train 2 sets to failure, just because I'm not doing the every other day training right now. And that's working great for me. My traps are getting bigger. My shoulders are getting bigger. My arms are getting bigger. And the key is, eat after your workouts in that case. So you're going to be on 24-hour rotations. Eat, ideally you would train late afternoon and eat around 5, 6, 7, and then get to bed a little bit later in the evening, right? You don't want to eat right before bed, but you want to eat after your training. You want to get a big spike of protein in after your training. So for 6, let's see, you're 6. I lost my fucking screen here. 6'3", 207, I'd say if you really want to bulk up, get 300 plus grams of protein in. Get probably 100 grams of carbs in at least. And that's from starch. And then, like I said, with the prunes or the fructose, get a little bit of fructose in and fill the rest up. If you want to make up your calories with a little bit of fat, that's okay. But fat really has no great place in a bulking diet unless you want to put on fat. I mean, you obviously don't want to starve yourself of essential fats, but you don't want it to be a focus on your macros. You definitely want to keep your fat below 50 grams per day, like way below. What else do we have here? Keep starting a fast and then breaking it before midday. How can I stop being a little bitch and keep fasting? I applaud you for your honesty. Stop telling yourself that you're a little bitch and start telling yourself that you're the fucking man and this is easy and it's not that hard. It's just not eating. Just resonate that in your mind, okay? Like, I don't know exactly why you're quitting, but you're quitting for a reason. Do you not have enough information? Is it, are you just straight up being a little bitch and you need to learn how to push your comfort zone a little bit more? That's probably the case, right? So do things that are hard. I like to do things that are hard. Push your fast. If you break midday, say, fuck, I broke it at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, if I don't get to 2 o'clock, there'll be consequences, Tomorrow, I'm going to make it till fucking 2 o'clock. And then just practice doing harder things. Like, one thing I've been fucking around with and I like to get people to do, and I've been doing it lately too, is when it's raining outside, go for a walk. Go for a walk in the rain. No hood, no umbrella, none of that shit. Keep your head up high, look straight, and stick your chest out and walk as if there's no fucking rain. No matter how windy and rainy and shitty it is, just walk as if nothing's happening, like it's a fucking beautiful summer day. And it just builds you, doing hard shit every day. Do hard shit, lifting weights, going to failure, doing hard shit every day. Build it a little at a time, a little at a time, a little at a time. It doesn't all come at once. But just keep practicing hard shit. Hard work pays off. That's where that comes from, right? Hard work, but they don't say, like, you need to work hard in all areas of your life to be a tough motherfucker. Okay? So just keep working on being tough. Keep working on your character. You already got the first part down. You recognize the problem. So that's good. That's good. You're already 1 foot in the fucking door. Next one. Greetings. I'm 5'6", 254 pounds. Started my snake juice this past Wednesday. Oh, I remember this one. I asked a question and they didn't respond. Basically, this person didn't tell me if they're having some issues. They didn't tell me if they were fasting or not. And I can't answer the fucking question if I don't know if they're fasting or not. Okay, Samantha asked, do I use Borax? Question mark. 1/16 teaspoon in your water. I actually have a different protocol, and I'm going to break that down in a full video and show you guys exactly what I do. But the 1/16 is a little too much for me, actually. It's weird. I feel like it affects my blood pressure a little bit. So I have a different way of dosing it, and I will show that on another video. Full breakdown of everything. Now, I'm not telling people to drink Borax, okay? I'm saying I do, because I'm a fucking savage. Before somebody comes and tries to sue me for telling people to drink fucking Borax. Next one. Hey Dan, how often should I take apple cider vinegar and cayenne pepper? Digestion problems, arthritis, spinal stenosis, L4, L5, right hip problems, early MS symptoms, gut issues. Yeah, dude, you got gut issues, man. Everything else is just a symptom of the gut issues, right? The autoimmune diseases, the problems with your joints, everything. It's gut. Thinking of doing cayenne pepper and apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning and before bedtime. I'm 58 years old, 140 pounds, 5'8". Fasting is going great. Thank you. Awesome, man. That's good that you're fasting. You're doing good. Yeah. I mean, you're right on track. Do it first thing in the morning, right before bed, and if that's going good, if you're not getting any gut issues, if you're not getting any diarrhea issues, you can knock one back around lunchtime too. So have it 3 times a day, okay? Start at the 2 times a day, and then bump it up to 3 times a day max, okay? And yeah, man, you're doing awesome, buddy. Cayenne pepper is the way to go. Apple cider vinegar is the way to go for sure. What else can I say about that? I mean, you're already fasting. You're already doing the hard stuff. So, okay, I'm just going to move over to another set of questions here. Just some randoms that I found. Banging off some randoms. And away we go. Hey Dan, this is in response to my urine fasting video. I think that's my most popular one right now. Is it because fat stores toxin and urine therapy removes toxins from the body, in turn allowing us to shed that fat? No, it's because I didn't eat. I got energy. I drew energy from the urine through hydration, okay? And possibly through the ketones or another method that we don't know about. But it's not, the piss didn't make me lose weight. The fasting makes me lose weight. Snake juice doesn't make you lose weight. Fasting makes you lose weight. Snake juice makes you feel good while you're fasting. It makes you feel like you're not dying as badly. Urine's just an extreme form of snake juice, okay? Just look at it that way. Hello, just completed a 72-hour drive fast, drank some water, and now the scale says I gained 2 pounds. Is that normal? Yes, of course it's normal. Does water have weight? It does. Water has weight. So if you put something in your body that has weight, are you going to gain weight? You're not immediately pissing it out, right? So if I have a 5-pound hat and I put a 5-pound hat on my head, guess what? I weigh 5 pounds more now. You get it? Yeah, there's actually a description on there, but I didn't have to. Let's see what else we got. Oh, it's about training. That's here's one. Hey Dan, sorry to bother you. Just noticed you had some experience with snake diet and BJJ. That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was wondering if I could ask a quick question. I'm going to start on a 48-hour fast and refeed the 72 hours or as long as it takes to get lean. The issue is that I train BJJ 4 to 5 times a week. Do you think I am going to be a lost cause on the mat with this, or should I have a break for the first little bit? Thank you kindly. Yeah, by break, I think you mean from the jiu-jitsu. For the first 3 days, take a break. Do your 72-hour fast, and then the days that you're training jiu-jitsu, have refeeds midday. And then I assume most people train jiu-jitsu in the evening, so have your refeed meals midday on your jiu-jitsu days and fast all the other days, and you'll lose weight like a motherfucker, and you won't be a complete lost cause on the mat. Your energy might be a little bit low because you're going to be in a calorie deficit, but don't think it's the end of the world, and don't think that it's permanent, okay? You're in a massive calorie deficit, okay? So don't expect to like hit PRs and shit, but who knows, you might. Some people react differently once they start to heal up their gut and shit, right? But yeah, I mean, you're still going to hit the techniques, no problem. Just, you know, your rolling should be fine as long as you're not pushing it too hard and you're having those refeeds on the jiu-jitsu days. Other than that, just fucking fast, man. Good question. What else do we have here? Okay, this dude says, and I lost his name, hey, if we have low energy and constantly feel like we're not all there, what can we do on the fasts? Make sure you're getting your snake juice in. It could be that you're just detoxing. How long are you fasting? You know, how much stress do you have? How much energy are you putting out? That could be a million things. Just make sure you're getting your snake juice in. Know that you're not going to feel like $1,000,000 through the entire process. Once you get back to the meal a day, man, people in the fitness industry, I see it all the time. These are supposed to be my colleagues. They bitch about a meal a day. They whine about a meal a day. I don't know how you do it. Oh, I can't get through 3 hours without my sugar. Yeah, that's because your liver's fucked and your insulin resistance is shit, okay? Like, these people just ruin their bodies, man. Once you get back to a meal a day after doing some long fasting, it's like a treat. It's a fucking breeze. Bum, 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 bum. Just so, yeah, make sure you're hydrated, and then just do your best, man. What else? Alright, Kelsey says, hey, I'm just wondering, do you recommend a slow refeed after a 5-day fast? How would I do that with an hour eating window? I'm a little confused, thanks. You don't need it. After 5 days, you don't need an hour eating window. Get some... If you're trying to lose weight, break your fast with the fruit and the veggies first to fill up. Eat it as slow as you fucking want, okay? Just eat one meal, though. And just take your time eating it, and then you get your protein in. That way you'll have a big fucking bowel movement afterwards, and then you'll be good to go for your next stretch of fasting, okay? If it takes you 2 hours, even if it takes 2.5, 3 hours, you just fasted for 5 fucking days. You're crushing it. Don't worry about it, okay? There's no 1 hour eating window rule. An hour would be like, if you're doing 24s and 48s, you want to try to keep it within an hour to maximize results. Let me see if I got any more questions. All right, last one. Hey, Dan, I'm down to 180 from 215 on the snake diet. Good job. I was wondering if you had any suggestions on how to schedule your lifts with fasting. I'm looking to start lifting heavy again now that my wrist is all healed up. Just don't know if I should do 48s or 72s to be able to not lose muscle. Well, you don't have to fucking crush massive weight if your main goal is to lose weight. Like, wait until you lose the weight, then start crushing the weight when you can eat food. And then you can recover better, and then you can get more energy, and then you're going to go, you're going to drop all the fat, then bulk up with that fucking, start bulking up, start crushing heavy weight. As far as the lifting schedule goes, yeah, train every 24 hours, train every 48 hours, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to do once a day, you can do full body once a day. Just hit one good working set. Don't go to failure if your main goal is to cut. You just go until you start to lose speed on the lift. That's going to help you maintain your muscle, okay? You don't want to beat the shit out of your muscles when you're trying to lose weight. You want to keep your weight relatively high. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to go for PRs, but you want to keep it, above, probably keep it in the 60 to 80% range. And I know that's a big range, but you can work different rep ranges too. You can hit a rep range of 10 one day and then a rep range of 5 the next day. But you don't want to do a lot of heavy weights because you're just going to fuck up your joints again. And you don't want to do a lot of failure work because you're going to break down your muscle too much, and you're already pretty catabolic because you're fasting and you're trying to lose weight. So you can actually lose muscle if you push it too hard, okay? So just do sensible weight training. Don't go to failure. Go until you lose speed on your lifts, and hit that every day or every other day, and just do 48-hour fast, man, until that weight is fucking down to nothing, okay? And one last question. You guys are amazing. Hey Dan, I could edit your videos if you like. I have some professional skills, blah blah blah. I like keeping my videos raw, and I've had quite a few offers now for people to edit my videos, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the people reaching out. I know my videos are not completely polished, and I like that. I like that it's raw. I like that I can sit down in front of a camera and have the confidence to just spit out some answers here without fucking reading a book and taking a bunch of jump cuts like a lot of the fitness people do. They'll say like 3 words and then you'll see that it like skips to another scene, and then they say like 4 or 5 more words and then it skips, and it looks it blends well, but if you actually look at it, they're only getting a few words out at a time, and that to me, it doesn't give me confidence in what they're saying, because they could be just referencing a fucking book, or they could just be referencing an article, or they could, you know what I mean? They could be getting a little bit of information at a time and just spitting it out to sound like they're intelligent so that they can sell people on the fact that, I don't know, maybe they got products to sell, maybe they're just trying to get more views on their YouTubes. I find that a lot of the polished shit, I just smell bullshit. I just smell like they're more about the money and not about helping people. Now don't get me wrong, there's no shame in making a few bucks while helping people. You gotta make a living, especially like, if you got kids to feed. You gotta keep a roof over your head, that shit, right? But a lot of these people I find really fake. And that's just my viewpoint. A lot of the best YouTubers out there, like Elliot Hulse, I like Tristan from Primal Edge Health. I like who else? Ben Bakulski, and of course Cole. A lot of these guys are just off the cuff. There's not a lot of jump cuts. There's not a lot of break, and it's not as polished. It's just a guy in front of a camera that's got results and has great conversations with other people that know what the fuck they're talking about, or just relays information through the camera. And that's the way I like to do my videos, because I don't want to be that fake guy. I want people to have confidence in what I'm saying. So that's about it for today. And that was a jump cut right there because I got interrupted. So, but there's no more information to give. So, I'm just signing off. I'm just out of here. So that's it, man. Love yous. Peace.